Okay, let's get into this SIG thing. All right, we gotta talk about the SIG P320. This isn't one of those brand wars. This is about the straight facts. SIG had a chance to lead the handgun world through military contracts, law enforcement adoptions, and civilian hype. But now, departments are dropping it, the Air Force is walking away from it, and the worst part, SIG knew there would be problems, and instead of fixing them, they blamed us. When the P320 dropped, it was supposed to be the next evolution of modular chassis, striker fired, striker safety, and all that. Then it wins the US Army contract, becomes the M17 and the M18. That gave it stamp of approval, and the departments all over the country started switching over. Civilian shooters ate it up, and I get it. It felt like a Glock with options, different grip modules, slides, and calibers. And on paper, it was a dream pistol, but the dream really started to crack. From drop fires to lawsuits and the problem SIG tried to bury. The first big issue, drop fires. A gun should not go off just because it hits the floor. SIG responded quietly with an upgrade program, not a recoil, not an alert. You had to dig for it. Then came the real kicker. People started reporting discharges without pulling the trigger, guns firing in the holster, guns firing while being holstered, guns firing just from being adjusted on the belt. Over 100 lawsuits, and let me tell you, not just keyboard commandos. These were real people from real injuries, including cops. That's not an operator error. That's a mechanical problem. SIG's biggest failure was blaming the shooter. So what does SIG do? Instead of pulling the gun and owning the issue, they blame us, the end user. Sympathetic reflexes and improper holstering. Listen, I've been around enough guns to know what an ND is, but this, I don't know about that. A modern duty pistol should not discharge without deliberate pressure on the trigger, and I don't care how modular it is. Glock doesn't do that, Walther doesn't do that, HK doesn't do that, CZ doesn't do that, Canic doesn't do that, hell, even High Point doesn't do that. SIG had a chance to fix this years ago, and instead they kept selling it, kept marketing it, and kept people on the back burner hanging. From quiet exitings and departments pulling the plug, now we're seeing what SIG hoped wouldn't happen. Departments are walking away. The US Air Force started phasing it out, local police departments started phasing it out, and now SIG is suing some of the police departments for not wanting to have it and protecting their officers. You'd think they'd do that if it was just a user error. Come on. These agencies are trying to protect their officers and the taxpayers at risk. Some are going back to Glocks, some are testing other platforms, but they're moving on and doing it quietly to avoid panic. And SIG, they just said almost nothing. So you got to wonder where SIG is going at from here. It may be an easy pivot. They'll probably just go to their XM7 and their XM250 rifles. That is locked up in the Army's next gen programs, and that is huge. Their rifle game is strong. The MCX and the MPX, and now the 6.8x51 hybrid round. That's the new face of SIG. On the handgun side, they'll keep pushing the 365 series, which by the way is solid. No weird discharges. Mine has been flawless. My guess, the P320 brand is going to phase out, and they'll quietly sunset it and replace it with something new. They just won't call it the 320. The bottom line, SIG had something great, and they blew it. Not because the gun had problems, all guns have problems, but because when the problems showed up, they didn't step up. They blamed the people who carried them. When you're in law enforcement or the military or a civilian protecting your family, you need to trust your gear, and that trust is gone. I'll still run SIG optics, I'll still shoot their rifles, but the P320, that platform has burned its bridges. Now you guys let me know if you had any experiences with NDs, or do you still trust the company? I will say, You got to think about it. If you have this gun or any of these pistols, period, you got to think about it, because they don't want you putting the live round in the chamber. They want you carrying on an empty chamber, but that puts you at a disadvantage. So if you're carrying this appendix in a holster and you have kids and you know how they like to run up to you and hit you in the groin area, all kids do it. I don't care. All of them do it. These things are going off inside the holster by getting jostled. I mean, it may be a 1 in a million chance, but are you willing to take that chance? So if a kid run up to you and jostle that thing inside that holster, it could get you and your child, and there's no coming back from that. So I wouldn't rush out to sell anything. I would just put it on the back burner, keep it in the safe. And keep in mind that you have a lot of new gun owners coming up every single day. You may have that P320 for a really cheap sale. Someone buys it from you, and you may have not had problems out of it, and then all of a sudden, bam, now they're holding a bullet in their leg or in one of their loved ones or someone innocent. So don't just run out to sell these things. I mean, it is what it is. You have to take your loss on it. Whenever stuff like this comes up, it's cool. I don't even take it as a loss. I take it as a learning experience. But with all that being said, guys, I'll leave y'all with some footage. But let me know what you think about this video and what you think about the future of SIG is. Also, something else I forgot to mention that I wanted to touch on. If you follow SIG's IG account, they did post something about the airmen and how tragic it was, and that was good. But for them to turn off the comments, that was probably one of the worst things that they could have done. Only thing it did was set more fire. It added a ton of fuel to the fire that was already brewing. Now, where does the trust go now? Because you don't want people questioning what you're doing. And once you do that, what does that seem like that makes you? The bad guy. That you don't want to hear anything when someone says something about it. You want people to shut up and be submissive to you. That doesn't go well with the people. The people are what makes you, your company, make you successful. Now, with all that being said, I'll see y'all in the next one. But don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe. Come back and enjoy some more videos with me. Let me know what I can do to implement changes into the channel to make it a little better.